Zeanette, are you ready? Okay. I would like to call to order the June 3rd, 2024 Committee of the Whole regular board meeting of the State College Area School District Board of Directors. If everyone could please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I'd like to welcome everyone joining us in person this evening and those viewing remotely. The board had an executive session prior to this meeting regarding safety and legal matters. Board members, with an agenda before you, are there any changes? All right. Seeing none, then I'd like to call on the board secretary for a roll call of members.
Dr. Bader.
Here.
Dr. Anderson.
Here.
Ms. Brandt.
Here.
Dr. Buck.
Here.
Dr. Crevefort.
Yeah.
Dr. Dino.
Yeah, here.
Ms. Huff.
Here.
Mr. Colby.
Here.
Dr. Miller.
Here.
Thanks. So I now like to call on Mr. Johnson for the superintendent update.
Thank you, Amy. I would like to congratulate SCASD School Resource Officer Bradley Tuskovich of the Patton Township Police Department on being nominated as a Center County Law Enforcement Officer of the Year. Officer Tuskovich is one of our only 4 nominees in all of Center County for 2023. He serves as the SRO at Park Forest Middle School. He also visits the 2 elementary schools in Patton Township in an effort to ensure that children of the schools are safe. According to the release, he received a nomination for his consistent dedication to the community and the law enforcement profession. Congratulations and thank you to Officer Tuskovich. In addition, the Food Service Department will be distributing food to families this summer through the USDA's Summer Food Service Program. This is a new variation of the traditional approach that requires children to eat a single meal at a program site. We will be providing bags of groceries to families so that they can make and enjoy multiple meals at home. Distribution. Okay. Distribution will be at Oak Hall Regional Park every Wednesday from June 19th to August 14th from 10:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Orders for the June 19th pickup must be made by June 12th. More information and a sign-up form are on the District Food Services website. Our next district-wide facilities master plan community forum will be held on June 17th at 6 p.m. here in Panorama Village boardroom. The discussion will include an update on the Park Forest Middle School construction project. With graduation coming on Friday, I would like to congratulate all our 2024 graduates in advance. We are so proud of you, and we wish you happiness and success in the coming years. As a reminder, commencement will be at Memorial Field starting at 7 p.m. CNET will live stream the event, and a link is available on the district website. That's it.
All right, thank you, Mr. Johnson. Sophia Sullivan couldn't join us this evening, and so as a result, Vice President Deb Anderson is going to share our student initiative information.
Thank you, Dr. Bader. Congratulations to the State High Thespians for bringing home 4 awards at the recent Isaac Awards ceremony in Altoona. Spencer Hardick won Best Lead Actor in a Male Role for his portrayal of Frederick in State High's production of The Pirates of Penzance. Al Eburn received the Student Design Award for costume design, and Audrey Shaner and Bree Dzayak were named the runner-up in the student choreography category. In addition to the production awards, schools nominated individuals for their Most Valuable Person Isaac Award. Bella Gallo received the honor for the Thespians. Overall, State High had 8 nominations. Congratulations to the Mount Nittany Middle School music ensembles for successful performances at a recent adjudication festival in Hershey. The Symphonic Band won a superior rating, taking first place in its category and first place overall among all bands. The Jazz Band also won a superior rating and first place. The orchestra earned an excellent rating with a first place and first overall among all orchestras. The 8th grade choir and Clefhangers Select Choir earned excellent ratings, claiming second and first places respectively in their categories. In addition, Dean Sunderland received the Best Individual Soloist Award for his guitar playing with jazz band, and Jacob Heller received the Best Student Piano Accompaniment for playing piano with the 8th grade choir. Congratulations to Delta Program seniors Lorelei Radzanowski, Anna Helfen-Wood, and Eli Carey for being recognized with the Pennsylvania Governor's Civic Engagement Award. The award is presented by the Pennsylvania Departments of State and Education to celebrate the efforts of high school students to engage and educate their peers about getting involved in the voting process. The students spearheaded a drive to register 85% of eligible Delta Program students to vote, qualifying for the Gold Level School Award. Statewide, only 18 schools qualified for the Gold Level. That's it.
Thanks, Dr. Anderson. Moving on to legislative update. Jackie, do you have any legislative matters to report?
So there's not much to report. Most of the conversations have been happening away from the public regarding the budget. There is tomorrow a joint meeting between the Senate Appropriations and Education Committees to discuss the Total Experience Learning Program. I don't know what that is, but I plan on watching the meeting, and I'll fill you all in once I find out.
Sounds good. Yeah, that doesn't ring any bells for me either. Center Region Council of Governments Liaison Report. Gretchen or Peter, do you have anything to share?
Neither one of us has anything.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay, so at this time, we now have time for public comment. Each individual will be allotted up to 3 minutes for items related to board business that are not a consent or action item this evening. For those items, public comment will be held just prior to voting on the item. Please state your name and where you reside in the district. If you have not signed in, if you could spell your name for the minutes, that would be appreciated. Do we have anyone in person who would like to make a public comment? Sure. Join us at the podium if you would and share your name.
Well, I'm back. My name's Mike Fullington. Do you want me to spell that, or? You can see it on the side of buses and around, yeah. So I was here seems not very long ago to thank you for helping us out this past school year. I'll be driving on Wednesday to say goodbye to my kids and probably be back in August to start driving again. But I guess you're voting on a 5-year contract, and I'm here to say thank you for your support. You know, I want to have a shout out to Van over there and his team. You know, they do a wonderful job. You probably don't know all the things that go on. Every day there's something happening, and they take care of it. You know, I hear it on the radio. So it's great working with you. It's a privilege, and you know, another 5 years of safe travel for the students. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Anyone else here for public comment or online this evening? All right. All right, then we'll move on to our committee of the whole section. This evening, we just have facilities and grounds on the agenda. So we will have an update on several facilities projects, and David Parmalee is with us for the overview. We've got more than one thing, which is exciting.
Thank you for having me this evening. I'm going to go over 3 projects that we have currently either under construction or under design. So we have 3 currently. One is the physical plant building, which is being built that's overlooking the community fields. The second is the North Building CTC renovation, which is currently being done for IT for the RIGHT program and for the virtual program. The third is the currently in design PV renovation. Starting with the physical plant building, the walls currently are complete. The roof substructure is being built currently. The roof is expected to be going on in the next couple weeks for both the first and second level. Brick facade is beginning. Decisions have been made on that and should be beginning here in the next week or so. Interior framing of rooms will begin as soon as the roof is put on. We still anticipate completion December 2024. We've added a number of views. This exterior view is taken from the parking lot area, looking at the building itself. You can see the structure itself, the insulation is on there, and recently the bricking has started too. This is the view from down on the Delta side, looking up the hill. You can see the interior structure of the bays themselves. So North CTC, all of the HVAC systems that are installed. Our long lead item, was the rooftop unit, has been delivered. So that issue has been taken care of well. Currently, we're undergoing interior drywall completion. We're about 90% complete on that. Furniture selection for all three of the spaces has been a long time coming, but we have completed that as of 2 weeks ago. And we are currently doing the window replacement. There's some coordination involved between a number of the different trades, so it's been a slow-going process. The next step is finishes, fixtures, paints, tiling, floors, things of that nature. Doors will be put in, storefront windows, as well as repaving of all of the driveways leading back and around to the kitchen. So all of that blacktop will be redone. We're still anticipating completion by the end of July 2024, pending delivery of furniture. To give you an interior view of some of the spaces, this is looking into the virtual classroom. There is still some wiring that needed to be coordinated to put in there, so the walls are still under construction. This space here is the new IT open office space. Again, we have a great layout here with lots of light and plenty of environmental with an open office plan and ceiling space. And this is some of the exterior showing the extent of some of the window walls that are being replacing the garage doors there currently. Finally on the agenda is the PV renovation. So this is some of the areas that we're affecting in the building. The biggest one is the existing IT suite. Obviously, they will be moving out and moving into the renovation that's taking place at North. That is the largest place currently, and we are designing it out for special education to be located in there. We will be affecting this room here, doing some insulation upgrades as well as audiovisual improvements and interior wall dressings. We'll also be working on the curriculum office. One of the major changes taking place there will be creating a pass-through between curriculum and the superintendent suite. And above all, HVAC upgrades. We'll be targeting the most aged systems in the building to improve them.
Like this one?
Don't quote me on it. It's on the list. Whether it makes the list, we'll see. So this gives you a quick layout of exactly what the PV renovation is going to look like. A lot of the major walls inside the existing IT suite are going to remain. We're going to redesign some of the office spaces that are there currently, as well as making a number of office spaces towards you'll see them on the south end of that proposed layout there, and adding a number of windows. The storage spaces will be staying the same, and that the open space as is current will remain with some fresh and refreshed designs. We have a couple of schematics, 3D renderings on here. This would be where you would enter into the space behind the reception area, and just a visual rendering of the current space as it would be laid out in the new construction. Right now, our timeline projects construction documents being released this month for bidding, with bidding coming back hopefully by the end of the month. Approval next month, and hopefully the start of construction. We're looking at a year-long project timeline. So, do I have any questions for that? Any of those three? Excellent.
All right, thanks, Dave. All right. That will conclude our committee of the whole portion of the meeting. So we typically have another option for public comment. Is there anyone here additionally who would like to make a public comment? I know that was a pretty brief committee of the whole meeting. How about anyone joining remotely? No? Okay. Then we can move on to the consent agenda. We have several items which will be addressed in a single motion to approve all. However, to simplify any questions or discussions, we'll proceed through each category. As I identify a group, please raise your hand, board members, if you need clarification on any particular items. So we'll start off with minutes. Any problems or questions with the minutes? Typically not, thank you. Next up, we have finance and personnel. In this category, we have a variety of annual approvals for different appointments and contracts, such as with our auditor, Baker Tilly, or designating Mr. Etter as our district solicitor. Things such as that are included on this section of the agenda. Any questions or problems with any of these items from board members? Yeah, Gretchen?
I might have a question.
Sure.
First of all, we're on finance personnel.
You
Is
got
that-
it.
Okay, we're going fast, so I just had to make sure.
Sorry. It's short.
I was just, I mean, I read the memo, but I was wondering, Joe, if it's item Q, authorized use of residual 2020 bond funds for North Building heating, DHW boilers, and air handlers. Could you just,
We thought there might be a little
Yeah.
confusion or questions, so
yeah,
that-
I mean,
that's
I
totally
think I
understandable.
get it, but if you could just maybe go over that, that would be helpful, I think.
Yep.
What's going on there?
Good evening. For this one, and last year, about a year ago, in July, we came to the board and asked them to apply some costs for some residual bond funds. The residual bond funds were taken out in 2020 that we're looking to spend down. Unfortunately, some of the contingency and some of the costs did not materialize, so we're looking to add a project to those bond funds to then be able to utilize those bond funds instead of capital projects funds to finance and fund that project. So that's all we're doing is we're asking for permission for the heating, domestic hot water boiler, and air handling unit replacement project at the North Building to be reclassified to be allowed to be used, to use bond funds.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions in the finance and personnel section? Okay. Next up, we have the instructional program section, student travel, foreign exchange student, and the new textbook requests that we reviewed at a previous meeting. Any questions or concerns in this section? All right, seeing none, we can move on to the physical plant section. There's some routine service contracts is the majority, actually the only item in the physical plant consent agenda. Any questions with those? All right, seeing none, I'd like to call for a motion to approve the consent agenda items 8 through 11 as presented.
Have so moved.
Colby, second.
All right, that's been moved and seconded. Any additional questions or discussions that we missed? All right, any public comment on the consent agenda items? Okay, seeing none, board members in favor, please say aye and raise your hand. Aye. Those opposed, say nay. All right, all those items have passed. We'll move on to the action items portion of the agenda. We'll start with agenda item 12A is a motion to approve 2023-2024 expulsion waiver agreement number 3. There is no attachment for this item. Do I have a motion?
Miller, so moved.
Anderson, second.
Okay, that's been moved and seconded. Any questions? Okay, any public comment on this item? Okay, seeing none, board members in favor, please say aye and raise your hand.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, that item is passed. Agenda item 12B is a motion to approve 2023-2024 agreement number 2. There's no attachment for this item either. Do I have a motion?
Anderson moved.
Demo second.
Okay, that's been moved and seconded. Any questions or discussion on this item? Any public comment? All right. Board members in favor, please say aye and raise your hand. Aye. Those opposed? All right, that item is passed. Agenda item 12C is a motion to approve the 2024-2025 final budget, homestead and farmstead exclusion resolution, annual real estate tax installment payment resolution, and supplemental property tax rebate resolution. These are all shown in attachments 12C1 through 12C5.
Have so moved.
Repacore second.
Okay, that's been moved and seconded. There's a number of items in this in this agenda item. Any questions or discussion on any of these particular items? This is the culmination of all of our staff's extensive work on our on our budget for next year. Okay. Well, that's wonderful. I think that just reflects what a great job our team has done thus far, getting us to this point. And we're ready for a potential motion then. Oh, wait. Oh, we did that. Sorry. I was on questions and discussion. I was reading all the list. Any public comment on this item? Okay. All those in favor, please raise your hand and say aye. Aye. Those opposed? All right, the budget is passed. Next up, we have agenda item 12D, a motion to approve the 2024-2025 Penn State Psychology Agreement that includes an assistantship.
Miller, sorry.
This is shown in attachment 12D.
Miller, so moved.
Quebecois, second.
Okay, that's been moved and well seconded. Are there any questions or discussion on this item? So this is a shift. We had, we previously had two positions with the HER Clinic, and now we'll have one with the HER Clinic, which we approved in the consent agenda, and we'll have a additional supervision through the Penn State Psychology Agreement. So it's just a shift in who we're working with to fulfill this role. Any questions from board members? All right, any public comment on this item? Okay, those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That item is passed. Agenda item 12E is a motion to approve several transportation carrier agreements for the period 2024 to 2028. These are shown in attachment 12E. Do I have a motion?
Buck, so moved.
Huff, second.
Okay, that's been moved and seconded. Any questions or discussion on this item? We're pleased to be working with carriers we've worked with in the past, and it's great to have a 5-year settled contract. Oh, I'm sorry, Jackie, yeah.
That's fine. I was just going to say transportation's hard.
It is.
And thank you to our community partners. So we really appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate that you come to see us too. That's very kind. And it is a tough job to do and a tough thing to arrange and coordinate. So we appreciate everybody's hard work there for sure. Other questions? Any public comment on this item? Okay. Board members in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That item is passed. Agenda item 12F is a motion to approve North Building CTC remodel, furniture, fixtures, and equipment. This is shown on attachment 12F. Do I have a motion?
Buck, so moved.
Quebecois, second.
Okay, that's been moved and seconded. Any questions or discussion on this particular item? Yeah, Peter.
So it's actually about the expenditure and the amount of the expenditure, and you won't actually have to answer a question. It's more of a comment sort of to the board, and that's just that. So when I look at this expenditure, $153,445, and compare it to some items that are on the consent agenda, I'm just kind of wondering if I would like to better understand, and I don't need to understand this right now, what the threshold for expenditures about why something is in the consent agenda or why something is an action item that's separated. It is not in my brain, and I cannot.
It's okay, I can answer it, and I sent you an email replying to your question about it earlier this evening, but I'm
Great.
happy to answer it here at the table. So this did come up in our professional development that we did when we shifted to the consent agenda. We had a discussion as a board about the pros and cons of having a financial cutoff for what goes in consent and which goes on action. And one of the concerns raised at that time is we do have annual appointments and annual contracts, such as the insurance contracts, which you mentioned in your email, that are quite substantial in cost, but we typically are routinely approving. We're typically working with the same carriers routinely. It's unlikely to trigger a request from the board for, to look for another opportunity or something like that. And being that we have created this situation that only one board member can make a request to pull something off the consent agenda, the conversation at that time was, because we had that tool, if there was an item that was of substantial value that was in the consent agenda, there was that opportunity to pull it out and have a bigger discussion about it. So with routine items, like I think Mr. Etter brought it up at our meeting, that some of our kitchen replacement stuff can be several $100,000 items. But we're going to replace the steamer for the cafeteria, most likely. So if there's a problem with how it's been bid or other things, we can pull it out of the consent agenda. So at that time, the board gave leadership leeway to have discretion in making those decisions. And then if items were routine, and we didn't anticipate a problem, they could remain in the consent agenda. So the driver for us in leadership, typically in agenda planning, is new items. So for example, the new counseling item that we just had with the psychology agreement, that was new and different. So that would be an action item for discussion. So that's there was kind of a push-pull between a strict dollar figure makes it kind of complicated. And our conversation at board development was we'd revisit our work in the consent agenda. My anticipation was about 6 months, but certainly if the board wants to discuss it at a sooner time, we can do so.
I appreciate that. Yeah, that's a good explanation. I appreciate it.
Great. Any other questions about that? Happy to talk about it more. Okay, great. Any other questions specific to the furniture for the renovation area? Okay. Now I've lost my place. Any public comment then on this item? No. Okay. Board members in favor, please raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That item is passed. And that speedily concludes our agenda for this evening. Looking ahead to future meetings, we have Monday, June 17th is our district-wide facilities master plan community forum. That's going to be at 6 p.m. here in Panorama Village, and that's going to occur just prior to our regular board meeting on that same date, Monday, June 17th, here at Panorama Village. Additionally, we have June 18th, which is a Tuesday. We'll have Policy Development Committee. That'll be here in Panorama Village at 1:30. And with that, I'd like to adjourn the meeting of the State College Area School District Board of Directors. Have a good evening, everyone.